Good Monday morning, everyone. So I know me, CJ, Russell, and Fern, if Fern could be here, she had to miss today, are coming off of Comic Palooza, and we're tired but had a blast. So you guys know me, Amy, here with CJ, Russell, and our lovely guest today, which is Cindi Flow. So everybody say hi. How's you guys doing?
Tired but good. Oh, Russell just disappeared.
That's okay.
Hang on a second.
He'll come back.
I did not get my ear pods in, so I couldn't
Yeah.
hear.
He'll be back, but you guys, I had a super exhausting, busy weekend. So I feel like I'm going to tell you guys first so we can all be exhausted together, okay? So on Friday, I took off and went to San Antonio, took my oldest daughter to SeaWorld. My youngest stayed with my mom. And then the next day, I went and floated the river with some of Joshua's work friends, drove home that night, got home at 11, put my girls back to sleep. I went to bed about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Got up at 5 and was at Comic Palooza at 7:30 because it takes me an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes.
Bless your heart.
I was there and parked at 7:30 because you guys know I wanted a close parking. I did not want to walk, and I was willing to pay for it. So I parked across the street in the underground parking. And then I get there. They're not letting anyone in until 8. So I'm sitting there talking with Fern, and then me and her get in there. And then we, wandered. We saw Greg. We got a Starbucks upstairs. And then it kicked off, and then just, cosplay Amy came out and put her little mask on and was just having a blast. So, needless to say, if you saw me at Comic Palooza and my cosplay with my mask and stuff, I'm so sorry. I have a lot of fun.
Everybody's seen it because we posted it on Author Talk.
Hey, now why you guys got to do me dirty like that? Oh, man.
I had fun. I stopped by, I think I did 15 interviews on Saturday for the Comic War. We were all over the place, and it was just so much fun. We met lots of interesting people. We did little short 1 to 2 minute interviews. We've run across authors. There was the Renfest people. There were Baby, the card from Supernatural was there. G.I. Joe's car was there. Different authors, DC Gomez, Fern, Sandy. Let's see, Jackie Smith, talked to Greg, talked to the Chief and Sarge's new illustrator, Davy Jones. So lots and lots of people.
Well, now you went.
I had a little different experience than you two.
Ooh.
So I show up about 11:30. Okay. And Sandy and Fern are working her booth, and I make the mistake of saying, Fern, Sandy, why don't you guys go get a quick something to eat so you're not stuck here, and I'll work the booth while you're there.
Oh, Russell.
And then they proceeded to have a 3-hour martini lunch. I never saw them again till finally I had to leave before they showed up. So, Fern, I know you're hiding today because you're hungover from your martinis all weekend. And Sandy, I know you're home watching this with a bag of ice on your head. So I just want you to know, I know you used me for your 3-hour martini lunch. That's all I have to say.
Oh,
and I would never say anything
together.
True.
Come on.
Oh, bless your heart, Russell. Oh my gosh, 3 hours. Wow.
It was something.
Man, I was running around. I was from Greg's table talking with Haley and David and Rox and Charles and Greg to attending Julie's panel, taking photos. And then I was hanging out at Inklings. Then I went over to Julie's, and then I went and put my mask on and did a whole live of all the cars because I'm a car person, but these were next level. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I went over there and I was like, I have to do a live on the con hour for this one. And so I was running around doing all this, and Fern's like, I'm just going to kidnap you to sit at the table so I could hang out with her. Because, I was moving, and then Greg would come get me, and Greg was hanging out with Ron Perlman and Martin Cobb, and I was like, dude, why can't I go? And it was because he had
interview them?
He can't do that. But, it was so much fun. But I have to say, besides seeing everyone and hanging out and having a good time, the coolest part for me was the Battlefield Live next to us, the tactical laser tag. And I was telling Russell about this earlier because he saw it But so they're really cool, and they're like nostalgic for me because Josh wanted to open one when we first started dating. It's a long story. But they had like the Mandalorian, other Mandalorians, and then stormtroopers going against each other.
Oh,
and
that was awesome.
It was drawn in such a huge crowd, and I was in the crowd because that's just who I am. And I mean, they were playing good music too, like the wobble and stuff. And I gotta do the wobble. I mean, that's just that happens.
Amy, they were doing that on Saturday too. I wish you could have heard my commentary. They were like, nobody was hitting each other. They were all in character. They couldn't shoot straight.
I love that though. I think that is so great. But I mean, it was awesome. And
I'm looking forward to next weekend's Comic Conroe. After this last weekend, it's like energy to know Comic Conroe was coming.
That's because Kevin Sorbo is going to be there, and you're going to fangirl all kinds of hard. Like, let's be real.
I own it. It's one of my top.
That is why. But you guys, I love you guys. I love seeing everyone. Haley and David, it was so nice to see you guys in person, and I got to touch you, which was awesome. And I'm glad you guys had such a nice time and sold a killer ton of books, which I think is fantastic. All authors did really good. Inklings did good. Greg did good. Rox and Charles did good. It was a great event, and I'm going to be honest. I was nervous about Comic Palooza, Russell. I don't know if you were. I was nervous about the attendance and stuff. It was a lot different.
Yeah, it was packed though. It was creepy packed.
On Saturday, it was creepy packed. I was not there for the creepy packedness, but on Sunday, there was a steady flow, but it wasn't like you couldn't walk down an aisle. It was nice. It was comfortably packed.
Saturday was full. We were able to avoid like the big lines and the big groups of people. We kind of floated in and out of them. Trevor was my camera person, and so we were able to get in and out and try to find stuff. But there were points where Greg, Trevor, and I were walking, and I just had a hold of Trevor's arm, and Trevor was like right behind Greg, and we were working through some of the lines. It was like,
oh wow. I wasn't there for that. It was comfortably packed. I didn't feel uncomfortable there with the packedness that it was. I mean, I felt pretty safe. But Cindi, you had a book launch on Thursday. So I am so happy to have you here. I know CJ and Lydia, their company or publishing company, Texas Sisters Press, published your book. And it is a children's book. So I'm going to show the cover, but I would love for you to kind of talk about the cover of your book and the inspiration behind writing your book. Because for me, that's the most fascinating part of it. So I would love to learn more about, let me share it. This cover right here of your book, which is a beautiful cover. And I'd like to know, what was the inspiration behind writing Sandy Boy in his new home?
All right. Well, I have been very fortunate in my post-career years to have been able to explore having my own horse. It's a dream I've wanted for all my life. And this wonderful Palomino gentleman came my way, and we have bonded unbelievably. And we're going into our 5th year together. And his name is Sandy Boy because he's Palomino. He lives by the beach here in Maine. So Sandy just seemed to be the right thing. But people kept thinking, is it a boy? Is it a girl? And I thought, well, in this day and age, we ought to go ahead and make sure people know. And so Sandy Boy, and that's how he's known at the barn. He's the Sandy Boy of the group. And his name over his stall is Sandy Boy. And when he first came to me, he was pretty depressed. He had lost weight, and he just kind of stood in the stall like, what am I doing here? Where am I here? And over time, his personality came out. He filled out all the care that I gave him and everything. So I started to think, it's not just horses that move. Mm-hmm. It's people. It's kids. They have the same concerns. And so through Sandy Boy, because watching him try to make new friends with other barn horses and not understanding why some of them didn't like him as much as others and things, I said, we need to go ahead and put something together for children, something that parents could read with children and talk about some of these things. So Sandy Boy is the central character, and he talks to the children and he explains what's going on and asks them questions. Have you ever been, nervous about moving to a new place that you've never been before? Have you ever worried about making new friends at school or around home? And so the whole story goes around his adaptation to his new life, to his new owner. And I was so excited to be able to have a wonderful illustrator as a friend. And
Nice.
Judy is just awesome, and didn't realize how awesome she was. And still, I asked her, I said, what do you think about doing this? So she just lives a few minutes away, and she knows Sandy Boy. She's been to the barn. She's met him, and all of her caricatures. She's captured Sandy Boy. He is the old-fashioned quarter horse, stocky like his mother, and stuff, but and things. But it's been just a great experience, and I'm so excited to have it published and out there and available for people to access. And I think stories about animals, and particularly horses, are very, very strong relationship based. And so so that's kind of how we got started. And our whole thing is that reading's a ride, bringing and so so bringing adventures to life one at a time. So this is his first story, and then the next one that we're working on right now is Sandy Boy and the Christmas Blizzard.
Oh, nice.
And she came to us with the idea.
I love it.
Sisters, horses. I mean, how could we say no?
Well, so I like the concept of your book. I know it's a children's book, and I like the, about friendship and, adjusting to your new surroundings, right? And making the acclimations and stuff. I think it's great. But for me, I feel like, and I'm not a child, and maybe in my outfit, I look like a little 12-year-old, but I struggle with that now, because I'm going to put my daughter in like a preschool so she can play with kids her own age. And for me, I'm like, what if someone's mean to her? What if she doesn't like it? Like as a mom, I struggle with that. And so I feel like your book, is definitely for me, because I'm like, oh my gosh, But I think that's such a good lesson in life, and to have, animals be able to do it, because kids can kind of resonate more with animals. My daughter does for sure. She's realizing, cats and kitties, because I have both, and everywhere is like, doggy, and she loves it, But I think that is definitely something that not is lacking, because I'm sure that, there's other books and stuff on it, but something that kids need and parents need as well, right? Like I read books to my daughter all the time, and I'm like, wow, this is a dark book, because I understand the deeper lesson in it, But I feel like something like this will also help me to make it an easier adjustment for her.
Well, sometimes you sit and you look around and you go, what can I do to make a difference?
Yeah.
Positive difference. I mean, I'm not going to go out downtown and carry a sign and do those kinds of things, but what can I do? And so that's where the thinking about it, what can I do to help children as they're trying to figure out what's going on in the world, and parents are trying to figure out how to talk to children about some of these things and stuff. And the Blizzard book is going to talk about, it's cold, the blizzard comes, and Sandy Boy is worried about all his friends. What happened to Tom Turkey? What happened to Polly Possum? And he wonders if there's anybody that really cares. And so we work through that.
Nice. I love that.
Her hardback launched on Thursday, and I know she's paperback and an ebook coming out probably in August, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
The ebook is up on Amazon now.
Okay.
And I think Lydia's working to get the paperback out within a week or so.
Okay. Yeah. So they're going to really quickly. And then I know that your artist, Miss Judy Gaudette, is working currently on the Christmas one. And the pictures I've already seen, some of them being, co-owner of Texas Sisters Press. I get the sneak peeks. They're really, really good. I'm super excited.
Nice. I love that. I think that is good. Oh, Greg has Comic-Con fever, so he's losing it. I was trying to figure out,
one thing that's been really, really critical is I look at where I am in life and I figure out, how am I going to do this? What's the way to get this done? And my friend Diane, who first met CJ and Lydia, suggested that I contact them, and they've been awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like having a good publisher, if you don't want to do the self-publishing route, definitely makes the writing process a lot smoother. I mean, I've heard not horror stories, but difficult stories, and different with different publishers. But it helps smooth it out when you know someone that can kind of help walk you through the process and make it smooth. I think that really makes a difference. And I think as a writer, it encourages you to keep writing, because if it was such a difficult process to get your book out and to do all this stuff, you're kind of less inclined to do it again, I would feel. So I'm amazed and happy.
Writing is the fun thing, and now I'm telling myself that social media is a fun thing.
Oh yeah, girl, you gotta keep telling yourself that every day. I've done it for years, and I still tell myself that. Okay.
We do is when an author comes to us, we take them through like a marketing and branding course, and Cindi has done an amazing job at it. She's followed everything that we said to do, and she's out there, and she had a super successful launch on Thursday. It was well attended. Lots of people commented, and people won left and right.
Nice. See, that I think that makes the world of difference too, because your publisher and your friends can help spread the word out a lot better. Not better than you can, but to people that don't know you, right? So you can get other readers besides your family and your friends and stuff like that, right? Because you want to have outside readers, unbiased readers, I guess is the way to say it. But I know for me doing social media for as long as I've done it, tagging people in posts, and CJ's very good at this. CJ, I want to ask you a question here in just a minute. Tagging people in posts and getting it shared and everything, people that are in it or just are at the event, whether they're in the photo or not, it helps spread the word out because it goes on their page and in their news feed, and they're inclined to share it and stuff. So kind of like CJ, what you were doing with the Con Hour this weekend. I know Russell wants to kind of dive into that a little bit, but what you were doing at Comic Palooza this weekend, you were also promoting authors that were at the event. Greg Kelso is an author. Haley and David are an authors.
Breakfield and Berkey, Debbie Smith, Cody Wagner, DC Gomez. Yep.
Yeah. So you were promoting authors. Todd Tinker was also there with Balance of Seven. So you were out there promoting authors. And so when you were doing lives and stuff, you were tagging them in and everything. And Russell was sharing them onto Author Talk and all of his platforms, Russell being an author and a co-host on the Author Talk. Yeah. So you were doing that. And I know, Russell, what question did you have? It was about the spreading the word of it.
Okay. Well, I was talking about her promotions that CJ did about this interview today with Cindi, and what she was trying to do about maximizing the exposure of her author in her new book. And I just wanted, CJ, I wanted you to explain a little bit about how you took advantage of this podcast before it occurred, and how you promoted it, and what your goals were, and how you may use it afterwards.
Well, a lot of things I do has to do with cross promotion, like Amy was talking about. When you tag different people that are related to whatever's going on, you also get attraction from their audience. So for example, for Cindi's book launch, we had DC Gomez, Diane Bame, me, Lydia, and Cindi. So we had all 5 of us that were able to cross promote. So Cindi got exposure to all of our audiences. It's the same idea for what I did with the Author Talk. I made sure that you, Fern, and Amy, and Cindi, and me, and all Texas Sisters Press people were all tagged and shared on everything across the board for social medias. Because again, it gives Cindi exposure to them, but it also exposes Author Talk to some people who may not otherwise know about it. But in doing that, it does what's called the cross promotion. As far as afterwards, Cindi will probably pull the YouTube link and we'll make sure to put it on the website. On mine, all of my interviews are up under the About Media page. So I go in and I pull the YouTube links, and I make sure that in those YouTube links, or in the post on my website, that I make sure to tag Russell's page, Amy's page, Fern's page, and Author Talk's group page. That way everybody's getting tagged and everybody's sharing, and you're getting that cross promotion exposure all over the place.
Excellent. Thank you so much, CJ. That's exactly what I wanted you to explain.
Yep. And I started right after.
So Cindi, I wrote about Cindi, I wrote about a woman and a horse in one of my books, but I shot and killed the horse in my book.
What?
I had more people talk about, why did you kill the horse? than I did about all the people I killed in the book. And I killed a lot of people.
Yeah, you did. You did kill a lot of people in your book. They were more upset about the horse, though. I mean, I guess I could see that. I've never.
More people were upset about the horse.
Yeah. Well.
And I thought I was bad at killing people. You killed pretty much everybody, and you got in trouble for the horse. That's pretty funny.
He just got most criticism for the horse.
Exactly. And I always thought that was so interesting that readers were angrier about killing a horse than they were about killing any person in the book.
Oh, man.
And I got more angry responses about that.
They're probably like mine that are used to, people being killed, being a literary assassin myself, that they're used to the fact of not getting, close to any of the characters. It's kind of like NCIS, no character is safe in my books. And I have a feeling it's probably the same for you. But when you kill the horse, they usually figure animals are safe to like.
Well,
yes. And I got to say that, Fern, I have another animal that is very attractive for a reader to grow close to in my next book that she's had several months. And she has physically threatened me if I kill that animal.
Go, Fern. Power to you, Fern. Okay, so I have a confession, and Cindy, don't hate me, okay? Don't hate me. I've never ridden a horse or been close to a horse. I'm not going to lie. Horses kind of freak me out a little bit because they're big and could totally kill me. So horses scare me. You guys, horses they're beautiful animals. I'm not saying that. They just scare me because they could trample me to death. Or just
they are intimidating, but they're sweet too. Usually,
they could literally just sit on me and kill me. Like my dog can't do that because he's little.
Cindy, get back into this fight. Defend horses.
What? You need to come up and ride my Sandy boy.
I believe your horse is very sweet. I believe they're beautiful animals. They're just. I don't intimidate easily, but if you bring a horse to the conversation, I'm intimidated. I'm intimidated. I'm scared and I backpedal real quick.
And they can smell fear. So if you're already nervous about them, then
I wouldn't let you go by yourself. I'd be leading him around, and you wouldn't have to worry about a thing. My horse is a gentleman. I mean, he's 25 years old. He's been around the block. He's very, 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 very well mannered.
Wow! Look, this is awesome.
Okay,
we have someone say they want to get it. That's awesome.
And I need to say hi to James Hill because he was supporting me in my stories earlier. And I've got to tell you guys a short story. So I was at the 1992 Republican convention here in Houston, and there was big protest every day. And I heard that there was going to be more of a riot one day, and the convention was guarded by the platoon of Harris County deputies and their horses. So I thought, I want to go down and watch the crowd control. This is going to be an experience. I'm always looking for an experience.
True.
So I went and got among the protesters, and I swear the Harris County Cavalry or whatever is charged. And I remember when they were rushing toward the riders on these big horses with these big hooves, thinking, wow, this is just like someone's experience for 3,000 years when cavalry's attack. And then they got closer, and I freaked out the way Amy might have done.
See?
They're giant animals.
See? Okay, I'm not the only one here that gets intimidated by a horse.
Those hooves are really big when they're running at you.
Yes, and they're just big. I'm short. You guys, I'm only 5 foot. So, I mean, a horse is taller than me. I mean, most things are taller than me. But a horse is really taller than me, okay? And it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things.
I like horses. I enjoy them. I like them calmer. There are some that are a little bit more feisty. They're just like people. Everybody has a different personality. One of my husband's niece came riding with her one time, and the horse was sweating underneath the blanket, and he rolled on her. Thankfully, she got out quick enough, so he didn't roll on top of her, but he rolled over on her because he was trying to get the sweat off of him. They're animals. They have personalities. They can be sweet or they can be feisty.
I love that.
My dad always said
I guess
they
I
were
need to write
motorcycles
something,
with
a
brains.
how-to book for parents on helping children overcome.
There you go.
Yes, so I can read it and I can overcome my fear of horses. I love it. See, your books are not just for children, or I'm just a big child. It could be that too.
You're not alone.
A little bit of both. It's okay.
I love it. I look at my daughters and they just have this, innocence and wonder of the world. And, I don't know. It's curious to see, like for me, when I hear an airplane, I'm like, oh, there's an airplane. And she's like, airplane. And she loves it. She has like this love for life. And I think it's amazing to see that through like a child's eyes. So I'm very, appreciative and envious of children writers because you capture that and you kind of go back to your childhood to write it. And I find that that's something not everybody can do. Like they can't get back in touch with their childhood and stuff. So I applaud you because I could not do that.
Well,
So,
I know I do it with Chief and Sarge, but it's because I have.
My wife accused me of never losing my childhood.
Well, I know I do it with Chief and Sarge, but I have a physical stuffed animal of Chief and Sarge, and we take them on the adventures. But it's a lot easier because they're a physical animal. I don't know if I could go into the headspace like Cindy and Lydia and Diane and Julie, our other authors, children's books. I don't know if I could do that without the physical part of it.
Well, so Cindy, how long did it take you to write this book?
To write the story, not very long. I mean, I wrote it and re-edited it. It took maybe a month or so, but I have the inspiration from Sandy Boy.
Yeah, you have your inspiration right there.
And so I've been thinking about it, and then people encouraged me to go ahead and put it down on paper. And actually, putting those thoughts down was the easy thing. Then the next thing was, okay, lady, you need a website. Oh my. Then you need help with that. You need help with this. But I got great help and we're on our way.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait. I'm supposed to get my first copy of the book delivered, I think, Wednesday, and I'm going to take it right to the barn, and Sandy Boy and I will read it together, and then we will take a picture and post it.
You'll eat it.
And I'm supposed to be getting my copy this week too, so I can have them for Comic Conroe.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I love that. And I love that your inspiration is right there. So you can just go out and, sit with Sandy Boy and have an amazing conversation because he doesn't intimidate you. And I'm jealous of that. I really am. It's not an insult towards horses at all. I'm very jealous that you have no fear of horses. So I'm sure people think I'm odd, but I'm okay. I embrace it. But
there's a difference between fear and respect. Mm-hmm. Because a horse can do anything at any time. That's a given. Yeah. So you have to be respectful and you have to look for signs about how they're feeling.
Yeah, they're a very emotional animal. Mm-hmm. I am at times an emotional person, so we could probably bond over emotions. I'm just saying we could totally do that. So I'm open to it.
Give them a carrot, sugar cube, rub them down. They're good.
Well, right. I'm totally open to it. But Cindy, thank you so much for joining us today and coming on. And just being here and coming live. And I know Texas Sisters Press has some pretty awesome things coming. So CJ, you want to tell us what Texas Sisters Press has?
Yeah, we have quite a few things coming up. Coming in August, I'm going to be launching the first book of my Christian sci-fi trilogy. Yes, they do go together. I was able to do it. Being a geek myself and a Christian, I was able to throw them together. So the first book is coming out in August. Second book is coming out beginning of October. Then the third book is coming out in January 2022. Cindy mentioned she has another Sandy Boy book coming out about the Christmas blizzard. There's also Diane Bame's new book coming out, a really sweet one. And then Julie Scott, or it's not Julie Scott, can't remember what her last name is, but Julie has a new one coming out, and she will be probably September-ish. There's also another gentleman who, Jeff Craig, has a Christian sci-fi coming out as well. His is probably September, October. But here's the big thing that we wanted to talk about real quick. We do an anthology each year, a short story holiday anthology. And we've already put the call out. So if you ever thought you wanted to be an author, think you're a good writer, I need it to be 3,500 to 7,500 words, family-friendly, holiday-themed, edited to me at cjpetersonwrites@yahoo.com. by August 15th to be considered for the story. We don't accept all stories, but we do take a good hard look at all of them and figure out which ones we want. We do a huge book launch in November for it. And then, you're cool. You're in an anthology. You get lots of exposure, and that cross promotion that we talked about earlier, you get to cross promote with anywhere between 8 and 12 different authors. Promotions. They're groups. So it's a good way to get out there.
Nice. Wonderful. So you guys can reach out to CJ if you have a short story submission that you want, or TexasSistersPress.com to look and see what their submission guidelines are. I know that it is wrapping up soon, like CJ said, August 15th. But tonight on Through the Eyes of Authors, so if members of Through the Eyes of Authors are listening or you want to just give feedback, would you guys, I know a lot of you guys were at Comic Palooza, like the day to recuperate and, calm down and get off of the Comic Palooza high that everyone was on, having a lot of fun? Or would you like to talk? I can talk about pretty much anything. Putting books out there. Kindle Vella. If you do not know about Kindle Vella, then maybe we should talk about that tonight on Through the Eyes of Authors. I'm open to either one. But you guys, Cindi, again, thank you so much for coming on. Russell, I love you. Hopefully I will see you soon. CJ, thank you so much. And you guys have a wonderful Monday, and we will catch you all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.